Welcome everyone back to Azeroth After Bedtime, Episode 2. Got Bango here, and I just want to admit that this has been arguably one of the coolest things ever. I'm living through the experience of Bango, and I've got like 30 people that are kind of along for the ride. So thank you, everyone that's out there. Last episode, we finished up Echo Isles, and here we are in Sen'Jin Village, about to do some of these newbie quests that what do I want to say, like slightly remember, but not really. So here I'm working through. I'm trying to find the crawler mucus, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but back in the day, these things you had to kill the I don't remember the name, the Makla crawlers, and it was like a 1 in 20 drop is what it felt like. And now they've made it so much easier that you just go up and kill these little crab things, and I feel like every 1 or 2 kills I have what I need. So the quality of life changes that I've experienced since my first hour of introducing Bango back into the world and me kind of working through it. And as I say this, I just realized that I didn't get those drops immediately. So the drop rate is still a little bit low. But I feel as I'm working through this game, I am reminded constantly of these parts of the game that sucked. And they're like, hey, man, we're going to give you a little bit. This is a new quest. I remember back in the day, you go back to Durotar, and you'd have to fight the centaurs here. And I don't remember this moment in any of my alternates that I've played, but I was like, we're just like murdering dwarves and working my way through that. So I like killed all the dwarves, I did all that, and that was like a weird experience too. The world has changed immensely as to what I remember. There we go. The capoeira troll dance, which I feel like I do often. I feel like I've edited out a lot of capoeira trolls dancing. But these are, like I said, new quests for me, fun quests for me. I've played my main character so far that I never went back and did these things. I certainly remember killing scorpids, dropping the totem. I don't think that we had to do that. I could be totally wrong. I'm sure my comments will remind me of my old 40-year-old brain of just like, no, dude, that was how it was back in the day. But like I said, I created a troll rogue in 2005-ish. It's like my first real character. So these things are just kind of lost on me. I do think it's fun to go back and experience like these early level quests. And as I said in episode 1, it kind of primes you for some of the things that are going to come in later. One of the things I do like was what we're about to experience right now is excuse the language, but man, I freaking love to go to places that have that Alliance banner and just wreck them. I played Horde my entire career. There are a couple times when I admit friends that I've made throughout my life also played WoW. And so I logged in, and I might have a Alliance rogue that exists somewhere that I'm not proud of. I may have raided with said Alliance character, but it makes me feel good to go back in these spaces. And here I am, I'm doing the slash who. Who's around, dude? Who is on this server? We got 40... We have 42 people. Sorry, I just hit my headset on the microphone. I got 42 people on this server for Horde. like I said, I'm not making this video to go to these to play this game so I can raid and get a huge following and a bunch of people. I'm making this YouTube channel so we can experience this world together because there's so much greatness in WoW. This quest right here, burning these things, and I just finished it up, and I'm walking back like, look at those raptors. Those raptors are awesome. I remember having to raise 100 gold, give or take, to just be able to ride a raptor at level 40. And it was arguably impossible. It was so hard. I was farming. Well, we're gonna get into that because I don't know how this kind of plays out in the realm of Miss Pandaria Classic. I don't really remember when you get your mount. I think it's earlier. I looked at my my skill book at some point, my spell book, and I do think that the mount comes earlier than I remember, and I'm certain that it's cheaper than I remember. But that's WoW, and that's the changes, and we accept and appreciate those. So here I am, Razor Hill coming in, the first time in years. It's still the same. I know where I'm going, right? I'm headed to the innkeeper. I gotta go to the innkeeper. I want to check in. I want to change. Oh man, I'm about to go real nostalgic here. That right there, that image reminds me of old school EverQuest. It has a space in my heart. Yeah, I loved EverQuest. It's what brought me to WoW. And here I go, talking to Garthok, right? Get my quests, trying to figure out, what I'm doing, where we headed. I got the butcher. I thought this guy taught how to train in cooking. I was mistaken. I don't think I actually learned cooking until I go to Orgrimmar. And this is the quest right here to head to Orgrimmar, but I'm holding off on that. I want to experience that later. I'm not quite ready. And so I go to Tiergard. This is the Kulturas. This is a space that's really memorable and fun. I remember dying hundreds of times in this space. But as I watch it, they're Northwatch, that's the name of these people, but no, dude, they were Kulturas, right? And I go up into the top building, and here's a rare spawn, and this is really cool because I don't remember if this guy was an OG WoW, but playing on a server with literally under 50 players for Horde, Sergeant Curtis, he's showing up. I get to access that guy because I can't. Because nobody's fighting him. Nobody's looking for him, or it's not so saturated. So here I go. I level up. I level 8. I slay everyone in the area. It's not hard. At Mist level, at Mist expansion wise, the quality of life changes are so great that the enemies are easy. I pop evasion. I'm fighting this Lieutenant Palataire. And I go out. I was bummed. I did go and search up on the upper level. There's no more there's just a chest there that you had to open up, and there was sometimes it would spawn a second chest, and there was enemies up there. None of that stuff is there. So it's a little bit of a bummer. Like I said, I'm living through these both experiences as having fun with WoW, but also realizing the game has changed. And if you're new and you play WoW, you don't get some of those old school experiences. But if you're old and you play WoW, you go, man, I remember that. That was freaking cool. Yeah, so here's Garthok. I'm getting my stuff from him. I went ahead and I learned at skinning and leatherworking, and I'm gonna edit a ton of this out. If you watch my uncut versions, you're gonna see me leveling up these things. But this was how I spent so much of my time from this session and episode 3 session, which is not out yet, but it's coming, of just like trying to get my own gear, right? I have to survive, especially in a server where there's nobody here. I can't buy anything from the auction house. I don't have access to that. Here I am at killing these water elementals, reviving these orcs. I'm getting gnomish tools. Dude, back in the day, anybody's watching this, you remember, back in the day, you had to like go into the water and like go into the boats and get the gnomish tools. That sucks. So I finished that quest in like 30 seconds because it's not the same. But it's still, like I said, it's still really fun. There's still some beauty in it. Talking about starting this channel, somebody was like, why don't you play it on a classic WoW server? And I was like, well, because I want the channel to grow with the expansions that come out. And a lot of this commentary right now, which, please forgive me on it, will be, hey, remember what that was like? And remember what that was? And that's a space for it. But I feel like if we're not playing it, if I'm not giving you the commentary on Pandaria server, I'm just going, look at how this is, and we never get to move forward. So that's kind of what this space is. I remember this too. This was a space where you just got a quest. And now, you're going to see here in a second, I'm going to talk to this guy, and he's going to like show me all the different parts of Durotar. And I kind of edit through it. But it's a really good space to like introduce the player to like the realm that exists. So I get my quests, I fight my Razorman guys, which, I'm sorry, but yeah, they sucked in the original, and now everything's like a little bit quick. I do live in this space where I'm playing these quests, and it's really fun, and it doesn't appear to be a challenge, but I know that as I progress in the game, it becomes harder. That's one of the things that I realized about like retail WoW is like low level WoW stuff as the more expansions come in and as they level squish and they introduce new things. Early WoW is easy. It becomes much harder the higher you level up. And I've experienced that. So right now, Bango, he's crushing it. He's crushing these Razorman guys like it's nothing. It's not a big deal. But as we play the game, the things will become a little bit more challenging and a little bit harder. And I'm open to that. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to visit the newer expansions. But right now, this is just the way, just the experience of me going, hey, that's pretty cool. I liked that. I remember moderately what that was like. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit of an experience for me, but it's still all the beautiful world of WoW. And that's what I absolutely enjoy. So here I think I go through this whole phase of trying to figure out, like, as a casual millennial dad, I'm just like, okay, I gotta min-max my dagger sword situation. Like, I remember editing this and just thinking, like, all right, what am I putting on? What's the agility? How's the agility do? Does that give me enough attack power? Am I going 2 swords? Am I going 2 daggers? Am I going main hand sword? And this is like stuff that, like, I feel like I still do as like a WoW player, of just like, I need to min-max my character and they have to be absolute top tier. And then I'm like running delves and LFR. Like, like, who cares, dude? Like, yeah, I'm like going on Icy Veins and finding like a rotation that's just like, yes, this is premier rogue. I am the best rogue ever. And then I jump into like a dungeon finder and I'm like the bottom of the DPS. Even like, I'm hitting my rotations exactly as I need to. And that's what this kind of experience is, of just me going, all right, man, like, you're level 9, you've got 2 white weapons. Nothing is gonna freaking matter. But that's the fun of WoW. Like, that's really fun when you don't have people that are just like crapping on you for being, whatever WoW version you are, or player that you are. You know, same vein, man. I'm here. I'm kind of closing out the video here, watching this. We're watching me create leather and figuring out, just because I know in the back of my mind, like I'm not gonna have access to the auction house. Like it doesn't matter how much, how many cured light hides I throw up in the auction house. I'm probably not getting access to any of that. And a little bit of like preemptiveness. I know what comes because I'm recording this voiceover before we upload other videos. But I know that I've gone to the auction house and they don't really have anything. So I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like, I just have to like create weapons, create armor, and create a character that can kind of survive. Um, I think in my mind I could be totally wrong, but I do think that while armor is better to be crafted, and then like if I'm weapons and things, like I think that you get pretty decent weapons through questing, through dungeons, through other things that I might be able to manage. Um, there's some higher level characters, so I might be able to do those things. So here we are, man. It's the end of episode 2. I've worked my way through Razor Hill, and I hope you enjoyed what I've presented. So I'll see you next time.